What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Red Tide Politics channel, and I'm here with conservative American predictions.
Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to doing the video.
Okay, so today we're gonna be doing the tier list on possible every single possible VP pick for Kamala Harris. This one is a very interesting one, just because I haven't seen a lot of things on this, just because Biden has dropped out today, and yeah, it'll be very interesting to see which one she picks. So let's get started. Do you want to start out with Josh Shapiro and work our way down,
Why,
or
why don't we just, go the way the list is? Start there, like start at the very beginning, and then we
okay?
work our way
Okay, that's fine.
over.
All right, do you want to start it out?
I mean, we can just, why not each candidate, we give our own thoughts about them, and
Okay.
then we just put them, we kind
All right.
of combine our rankings and put them where we think they should
Okay.
go.
All right. Cool. Um, I do not see the first one on the VP list.
Jared Paulus?
Yeah, I do not. He's not even on the list. So I
It's
mean,
fine. I mean, he's on here. Let's just throw
yeah.
him on
Okay.
there and kind of talk about
Okay.
what, he would rank.
So,
I think I would put him about like D tier maybe. I think he would do okay with some more libertarian voters and he could bring them on. But the fact
yeah.
that he is a married gay man could turn off some more moderate voters. I don't know if it would, but it could. Also, he's from a safer state of Colorado, so it wouldn't be a huge deal to win that state. He could potentially help in the Western Sun Belt, and again with more libertarian-minded voters. But as a whole, I don't think he would be a huge benefit to the ticket. So I think he is a D tier candidate.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just because he's not like since you said he's from Colorado, so I mean, yeah, he's not really gonna help with a lot of things. Just because like you would he would probably have to pick somebody from like a swing state like Michigan or like something that will help her. Just because I do think that Kamala will not do as great in the cities, especially like with black voters and young voters. So I mean, yeah. So we'll put him in D tier. Okay, so next, Amy Klobuchar. This one, I don't know. I mean, honestly, she's gonna help. She'll help her in Minnesota just because I think Trump will do well in the Iron Range. But, of course, it's Amy Klobuchar since she's the senator. I mean, I think definitely that will help Kamala Harris out just because of the Rust Belt. Like, this is a good pick that I could see probably helping her out a lot.
I think she's a C tier pick. I think she helps in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, possibly Pennsylvania too. She wouldn't really bring anything to the Sun Belt, so it could be a benefit there. But where Kamala would struggle with picking Klobuchar is she is in the spotlight a little bit. She isn't like kind of center stage. She isn't from an ultra critical state, and also having a double woman ticket that might turn off some male voters. It might not, but it could kind of turn them off a little bit, as would a double male ticket like a Trump Vance ticket. So you could argue it's kind of a gender thing, but if I would be, just my overall rating, I'd say she's higher C tier, maybe lower B tier.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, we can do C tier if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll do C tier.
Okay.
Um.
Adam Schiff,
Yeah.
F tier. I mean, he
F
brings
tier.
nothing. He brings nothing to the ticket. I mean, he's from California, and
And
he
he's
would
in
just
his
be a
own Senate
laughing
run.
stock.
And plus,
Yeah.
he's in his own Senate run, so it wouldn't make sense for him
Yeah.
to be the VP after. So I
Okay.
mean,
Joe Manchin.
okay, this one I'm just gonna. I think he's probably an A tier just because he will bring in a lot of moderate voters that probably are lean. I think because he's just a moderate Democrat. He's one of these old school Democrats that are probably a really good pick that would help the ticket.
I put him in either B or C tier, and here's my reasoning. One, West Virginia, not a big deal, but that's not really a huge thing. The bigger thing is he would squash the progressive vote like crazy. The progressives would not turn out at all for Kamala if he was picked, and that could potentially end the results. Also, I don't think that someone like Kamala and Manchin with such ideological differences would stand as such a good ticket. I don't
That's
really
fair.
see that doing super well. So I'd say either lower B tier or higher C tier. You
Okay.
choose whichever one.
We can do B tier just because I have an A and you're probably like C, so we
Okay.
can put in the middle for B tier.
Okay.
Okay.
Tammy Duckworth. She's from Illinois. She really brings nothing to the ticket.
Yeah.
She might help with minority voters, but that's already where
D
Kamala
tier.
does good. I'd say D tier, yeah.
Yeah. D tier. Okay. Yeah, this one's kind of its own explanation.
Okay,
Okay.
Andy Bashir.
Okay. This one.
Um,
I honestly don't know. I mean, Kentucky wouldn't be one of those states where it would benefit just because it's a generic Republican state. Maybe he would pick off a couple of points in that state, but then again, it wouldn't help that much. It's probably one of those states where Trump would do a little bit worse, but I don't know. I think Andy Bashir would help with young vote just by a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know about you.
I think Bashir would help in some Midwestern states like Pennsylvania, potentially in places like Michigan and Wisconsin, but where I think he would also help is places like Georgia. But him being a governor from Kentucky, he's not, in a bunch of spotlight right now. I think he would be a good presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate in 2028, but not in 2024.
Yeah.
But he would still be all right. I'd put him in B tier probably.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do B tier. Okay.
Cory Booker. I'd say just D tier. I mean, he's from New Jersey. He'd help with minority voters. There's not really anything else he would help with. He is younger though, so that would bring out some voters. He's fairly charismatic, but he's not super well known, so I'd say about D tier.
Yeah, we can do D tier. Yeah, that this one is an interesting pick to say the least. Okay, AOC. Um, she's not in the spotlight whatsoever. She's from New York. I mean, then again, Trump is making a play for New York, so maybe it would pick him off there. But honestly, I don't see this as a good pick. I don't know about you.
I I'm split between F and D right now because if Kamala wants to go after the progressive vote, AOC is the candidate that chooses the VP, but I don't think that would be the smartest tactic. I'll say D tier because she would help with the younger voters. She would help with minority voters, potentially with some Latino voters. Uh, and also, again, younger voters would be a big thing. But I don't think that she'd be a great VP. So I'd say either F or D. You choose.
Okay. Yeah, we can do. I mean, yeah, we'll do T. We'll do D.
Okay. Elizabeth Warren, though, I'd say she's F tier. She's an older woman. She isn't really known for much other than running for president in 2020. A lot of people do know her for being the Senate, of course, but most people probably just remember her from running for president in 2020. She doesn't bring a whole lot to the ticket other than being ultra progressive. And if you aren't going to help with the younger demographic, then I don't think that an ultra progressive would be a good choice. So I'd say F tier.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just because, yeah, she doesn't really help or bring much to the ticket. It's the same thing like Adam Schiff. Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't help.
Okay,
JB
JB
Pritzker.
Pritzker. He's from the safe state of Illinois, which could be a little bit closer this year, but I doubt it will be. He could potentially help in some states like Wisconsin and Michigan. And he might be, an okay pick as he's fairly progressive. He's not like super far left, but he's about the same as Kamala Harris, maybe a little to the right of her. I think that he would be about a C tier candidate. He wouldn't be like an ultra, good candidate, but he also wouldn't hurt the
Yeah.
ticket by any means. I think he would just kind of, keep it about the same as it is now.
Yeah.
So I'd say about C tier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably a good standpoint, just because it's not gonna be like an Andy Bashir type where like we could really like say, okay, maybe she does better in some areas. Like I think it's just gonna keep it like just the same
Yeah.
in a case.
Gretchen Whitmer, I'm a little split on. I'd say either A or B. She would help in Michigan, of course. She would help in Wisconsin, probably Pennsylvania. She would help in the Midwest. She wouldn't really help in the Sun Belt. I think Trump would still have the Sun Belt say it's fairly locked in. And she's a fairly popular governor of Michigan, within Michigan, so she would help there, and she might help lock it down somewhat. Maybe I would move it to being like tilt D to lean or lean D if she was the VP. She is a fairly moderate-ish Democrat compared to other Democrats, so she is definitely to the right of Kamala. But she doesn't really bring a whole lot to the ticket other than being from Michigan. I think she's a better presidential candidate in 2028 than a VP candidate for 2024. So I'd put her either low A or high B.
Yeah, we can do an A just because I think that if she picks Gretchen Whitmer, I think that Kamala would have a better chance of winning the election. I talked with Sammy about this earlier, and we had fairly most of you like agreeable points on that, so we can put her in A.
Okay. Next, Josh Shapiro. This is, I think, the first S tier candidate. If Kamala wants to win Pennsylvania, Shapiro is going to be the one to help her with it. I think he would also help in Wisconsin and Michigan, potentially make them tilt states either way. Pennsylvania could be a tilt state either way, or maybe even a lean state for the Democrats. He's very charismatic. He's a younger guy. He could help with the male vote. He could help with the working class vote. He's very popular in Pennsylvania. He's well known as a fairly moderate Democrat. A lot of Republicans actually somewhat approve of him. They think he's all right. And I think he would be overall a very safe and good pick for Kamala. So an S tier candidate, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just because Pennsylvania is one of those states where like you're gonna need to win the election. Like if Kamala needs to pass, it's gonna be the Rust Belt, and if she wants to win, she's probably gonna need to pick somebody from the Rust Belt. So this would be a candidate to win. It's like Gretchen Whitmer. Trump would still possibly win just because he can pull an upset in Wisconsin or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, that would be an S tier pick.
Next, Mark Kelly. I'd say he's B tier. I think he helps in Arizona and Nevada, of course. I think Arizona would be a lean D margin in this scenario, probably because Kelly is very popular in the state, and Trump isn't a good candidate as it is. It's just Harris is a really bad candidate, and that's why I have it going lean R as of now. But he would help in Arizona. Nevada would be a tilt state either way, in my opinion. And he would help maybe in states like California, like keep the margin up so the popular vote is beneficial for Democrats. Maybe you could keep Texas as a lower margin. But other than the Rust Belt, I'm sorry, the Sun Belt, the Western Sun Belt, he really doesn't help much with any other voters. So I think he's a C to B tier. I'll keep him in B tier though, as he would be very beneficial for Arizona and Nevada. So let's just say hypothetically that Kamala wins the state of Georgia and I don't know, maybe Michigan on the presidential level. If she would win Arizona, I'm pretty sure that would put her over the top, especially if Nevada came with it. So maybe Kelly is a B, C tier candidate. I'd say B.
Yeah, I agree. Since he's like younger, like I'm guessing he's in his 40s, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 50s.
Okay, like high 40s, low 50s. Like he would be really good with male voters and all that. So I think and especially in like Maricopa that is shifting to the left, it would definitely benefit Kamala. So I think B tier would be the right answer.
Okay, Gavin Newsom, F tier because he would have to change his voter registration to another state, as Kamala is
Yeah.
already from California. Also, he's very unpopular. He wouldn't balance the ticket well. He's progressive like Kamala, however, he's not like ultra far left, so he wouldn't really bring anything new to the ticket. And he would just kind of be a generic vice president, and he really wouldn't bring anything to the ticket again. And again, it's California, not some like
Yeah.
toss up state, so F tier.
Yeah, no, and also he said that he will not be on the ticket. He already endorsed her, so it's like, why put him at the top even though he's not going to be the VP?
Yeah, I mean to be fair though, Whitmer already said she wouldn't be the VP either, but
Yeah.
okay, next, Pete Buttigieg. I'm gonna put honestly probably an F tier. He really brings nothing to the ticket other than being in the Biden administration, and like some people call him a conservative Democrat. I really don't think he is. On economic issues, maybe, but as a whole, he is just another generic progressive Democrat, more or less. He is younger though, so he could help with younger voters, but that's basically the extent of what he could do. Kind of same thing as Polis, so he could turn off some more moderate or conservative voters considering to vote for Harris. I don't really think he brings anything new to the ticket, though, again, other than being a younger man. So, yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, definitely he can possibly get more Biden voters just because they're gonna have some of these like moderate Biden voters that might switch third party or just won't vote. Like same thing said for the Republicans. So yeah, I don't think really does much. So yeah, F tier.
Dean Phillips, I'm going to put in C tier because he claims to be a very moderate Democrat. He really isn't that moderate, especially on social issues. Maybe on economics, he is. So he's like kind of a generic Democrat, I would say. And that would kind of balance the ticket well. I think he would be an okay candidate for the Rust Belt. He would help in places like Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota. He could help with those states, especially Minnesota. So I think he would be an all right candidate. He wouldn't bring a whole lot of the ticket. He is a younger man, though, so that would help with those two demographics. Also, again, Rust Belt, so that would help there. But as a whole, it's not like some super good candidate. So I would say probably C tier.
That is fair. Like I don't know why a lot of people are obsessed with him being a VP. I just don't see it personally, but he would be a decent VP if he was picked. So yeah.
Okay. The governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper. I'd say he's A tier. And the reason why is North Carolina is in a high profile swing state this election. I think it's a swing state to an extent. I actually have it likely Republican right now at about 5 points. So I don't think that Kamala picking him would necessarily even win the state. Potentially, though, it would make Josh Stein win the gubernatorial election, which would be good for North Carolina Democrats. But I do think that he could maybe help Kamala win Georgia. Maybe he could help a little in the Rust Belt in states like Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, but I don't think it would be enough to win those states. So other than Georgia, I don't think he would like help win a state necessarily, but he would help balance the ticket out as he's more of like a common sense Democrat. So I would say that he would be decent. So A to B tier.
Yeah, so what I did in my last prediction from my last video, it was interesting just because we don't have a lot of information, especially on VPs and especially Kamala Harris. It's kind of odd for a lot of these people. So A would be okay. I'm just saying like maybe it wouldn't benefit her enough in the Rust Belt to make her go over the top, but we can put him in A.
It's fine. A or B is fine with me.
Yeah,
Okay. I can't make out that guy's picture. Who
I
is that?
cannot either.
Is that John Tester? It's a little blurry on my end. It
Uh,
looks a little like oh wait, no, that's it's Doug Jones, isn't it? That's the guy. That's the former senator from
I
Alabama.
cannot.
I
Yeah,
think, yeah, that's Doug Jones. Okay. So that is the former senator from Alabama. He basically is not well known at all as he served like what, 2 years in Congress.
yeah,
Um, so he not super well known. He hasn't been in the spotlight for a while. Sure, he'd help in the South. Maybe he'd win Georgia, make North Carolina closer. But other than that, he wouldn't really be that effective. So I'd say D tier.
yeah, yeah. I can't really make out that picture
So I
either, so
hope
we
that
can.
I hope that is Doug Jones. If it isn't, my apologies. That's just
Yeah,
who I think it is. It looked like kind of a mix of Tester and Doug Jones, but I'm guessing it's Doug Jones.
yeah,
Okay, next, Michael Bennett, D tier as well. I mean, it's Colorado, not a super important state. Maybe he'd help with the younger voters, but he's just more of a generic, moderate-ish Democrat, so wouldn't help with too much. So again, D tier probably.
yeah. I agree. We can do T tier. I'm just trying to make
Tammy
sure. Yeah,
Tammy Baldwin, I'd say also D tier. She's from Wisconsin, which helps, so she would help with the Rust Belt. But she's in her own Senate bid this year. She isn't going to be dropping out for a VP spot. Also, again, double female ticket might help or might hurt with the male demographic a little, and that could hurt a little. Although she would help again in the Rust Belt, so maybe they would win Wisconsin and Michigan in this scenario, maybe Pennsylvania. So yeah, I'd say maybe DC tier.
yeah. We can do C tier. Yeah. It's just a little unrealistic, just because she's up for re-election. So it's like, yeah. So we can do C tier.
Wes Moore, I'd say, is C tier. I think he helps definitely with younger and minority voters. I think he could help bring out voters in progressive states, in more Democrat leaning states. So he wouldn't necessarily help win a like super important state, but he could help, kind of with a popular vote. Also, he could potentially make Georgia closer, maybe North Carolina a little closer. So it would help in the Eastern Sun Belt. But as a whole, not a super great candidate, not a bad candidate. So I'd say C tier.
Yeah, we can do C tier. Like I agreed. Like he would help a little bit. It would like be a split. Like a little bit maybe in the Rust Belt, a little bit maybe in the Sun Belt. So it wouldn't be that bad of a pick. Tim Ryan.
Uh, okay, Tim Ryan. Um, I have no idea why Tim Ryan and Beto O'Rourke are even on this list.
So F minus.
Okay, Tim Ryan I think is like C to D tier. Although one thing I want to point out, he already lost to Vance by 6 points. He doesn't want to make that a two-time loss, but he would maybe help in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. I don't think enough to win any of them, but he would be all right. So I'd say C tier for him, just because he's more of a moderate Democrat. He was one of the first to call on Biden to step aside.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably yeah, C tier.
Better
Beto O'Rourke
or
though, F tier.
F F minus because he loses way too much. Like
Yeah.
he would not benefit whatsoever. Bernie Sanders.
I'd say is either D or C tier. He's such an iconic symbol on the progressive side that he could help with younger and progressive voters. But other than that, it could potentially turn off some voters too, some more conservative and moderate minded voters. So kind of balances out the two. I'd say D tier probably.
Yeah, we can put him D tier. He would probably do a lot better with progressives and all that. I don't know why Mark Kelly's up here twice. We'll just ignore that.
And Hillary Clinton, obviously F tier. She lost to Trump once. She wouldn't want to lose to Trump twice as VP. So F tier. Probably F minus,
Yeah,
honestly.
F minus. We'll do F minus. But
So yeah.
yeah, this one very interesting. Um, yeah, I mean honestly, like not Hillary. Kamala Harris would probably have to pick somebody from a Rust Belt state to help her win, just because I do see Hillary not. Oh my God, Kamala Harris not doing that well in the Rust Belt just as a whole. So she would need to pick somebody like a Shapiro or like a Gretchen Whitmer. But yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be if Kamala wants to win, she's going to pick Shapiro. If she wants to maybe win, either Whitmer, Cooper, Manchin, Kelly, or Bashir. Those are basically her choices to win. Also, Shapiro does not guarantee a win. Shapiro could maybe help with Pennsylvania, but he still doesn't guarantee a win. Kamala is a very unpopular candidate, and I think honestly, as of now, the electoral map is 313 to 3, or like Trump gets 313 electoral votes. So Kamala is definitely lagging behind, but she could come back again, especially with a good VP pick like Shapiro.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it depends on the VP pick, and it depends if Kamala does somebody like a Rust Belt state. Then we can talk about different things. But as of now, I do agree with your prediction. Maybe Trump can do a little better. Maybe he can still win Minnesota or like Maine at large. But yeah, no, this was a very interesting list to do. I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Um, Go ahead and go check out Cap's channel. I will put it down in the description below. Any last words, Cap?
Again, thank you for having me on. If you're watching from my channel, make sure to subscribe to Red Tie Politics. He makes great content. Make sure to check it out and keep watching. And again, thank you for watching this. And I really had a blast making it.
Yeah, thank you. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.